So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our mathematics class. And in this mathematics class, we are just going to have our mathematics lecture on completing the square method. So this is where you are given a quadratic function and you are asked to complete the square. But this question has the applications which you also need to make sure that you know. So meaning in today's class, I'll focus on first giving the example on how to do the complete the square method. Later on, I'm going to solve two exam questions. One exam question from Math 1100 and the other exam question from Math 1120. After finishing this topic, our next topic, we shall look at relationship between the roots and the coefficients of a quadratic function. So that will mark the end of the first part of quadratic functions and also functions, and then we'll start looking at polynomials. So please make sure that you follow up and make sure that you watch all the lecture classes which are on our YouTube channel. So we have the first question: complete the square method of the following quadratic function, hence sketch the graph indicating the turning points and the intercepts. So we have a, which is f of x, is equal to 2x squared plus x minus 10. So ladies and gentlemen, please pay particular attention to the way you are supposed to do it. Like I have said, I'm going to solve questions from both Math 1120 and Math 1100. That means that this topic came last year, so make sure that you are able to follow up. So let's quickly look at this equation and see how best you can find it. So you have been given f of x is equal to 2x squared plus x minus 10. So this is a free mark, guys. This is a free mark. So how can you get it right? So here you just factorize. Remember, you factorize a 2 there. Please take note of that. You need to factorize a 2. This 2 here, you factorize, okay? So when you factorize a 2, you put it outside, then you use brackets. So once you factorize a 2 there, you're going to divide a 2 throughout. Once you divide a 2 there, you're going to divide a 2 throughout. So when you divide a 2 throughout, this is what you expect inside. So inside it will be x squared plus x over 2 minus what? Minus 5. The reason why you are having a 5 because negative 10 divided by 2 is simply what? Is simply negative 5. Okay. So with that information, you need to understand that the 2 will still drop there. Then what next are you supposed to do? So the next thing that you need to do is to find the half of the second degree. So you're going to find the half of that, okay? Find the half of 1 over 2, okay? So half of 1 over 2 is simply 1 over 4. So half of 1 over 2 meaning 1 over 2 divided by 2, which is simply going to be 1 over 2 times 1 over 2, and this will simply give us 1 over 4. So what you're now going to do is the expression inside will be written like this. So the x squared will be maintained plus x over 2, and then you are going to add and subtract. Take note of that. You are going to add and subtract the squared of 1 over 2. You add, then subtract. Do not subtract first, but you add, then subtract. So what I mean is we are going to add and subtract the squared of 1 over 2. So you're going to say plus 1 over 4 squared minus 1 over 4 squared. Okay, then that negative 5 will be maintained the same way it is. So negative 5 will simply remain as negative 5. So from this expression, one thing you need to understand is that 1 over 4 squared minus 1 over 4 squared is simply equal to 0. Okay, that simply means that at this particular point we have just added a 0, and this expression is the same as the previous expression. Now, one thing that you need to understand, that there is something that has just popped up here, and what has popped up is that this whole expression, okay, let me highlight that to help you guys understand what I'm talking about. This expression I'm circling in white. This expression here can simply be simplified as follows. So this will be written as x plus 1 over 4. Remember, the 1 over 4 is positive, and then you say bracket squared. Okay, then the rest will be maintained the way they are. So that one will be 1 over 4 the way it is squared, and then negative 5 will maintain the way it is, like that. So if you observe one thing you are going to observe is that when you expand this guy, it will give you back what is on top. When you expand the guy in white, it will give you what has been circled on top. So meaning that whatever we have written here, it is the same thing as what we have written on the second point. So with this information, your job now is just to simply work out that part there. So a 2 will go as it has been, a 2 will go as it has been. Then you're going to have x plus 1 over 4 close bracket squared minus 1 squared is simply 1, and then 4 squared is simply 16, and the negative 5 will be maintained the way it is. So ladies and gentlemen, at this particular point, I would love you guys to ask questions. Please, if you have a question, feel free to unmute yourself and ask. Please feel free to unmute yourself and ask. Any question, ladies and gentlemen? Frederick, are you clear? Frederick, do you have a question?
No, I don't have a question, sir.
Okay, all right, that's good. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on. So at this particular moment, your job is just to add that guy there. You add negative 1 over 16 minus 5. Okay, I can see a hand. Yes, Chumuka, what's your question? Sorry?
Yes. So I'm asking here, why are we dividing x by 2? Here is x over 2.
X over 2. Why am I dividing x over 2?
Yes.
Okay, so x over 2 is the same as 1 over 2 times x. Okay, so according to the rules of the complete the square method, you need to find the half of that. Okay, you find the half of this one, which is 1 over 2, half of this, so meaning you are dividing by 2. So we are dividing by 2 to find the half of 1 over 2. If this guy was to be 4, we know that half of 4 is 2. So we would have said 4 over 2, or 4 divided by 2, which is 2. So this guy, half of 2, is simply what? Half of half is 1 over what? 4. So one thing that we are, the reason why we are also doing this is that we are trying to find a way we can make the second expression similar or the same as the third point. So we have the first part here, we have the second part there, we have the third part there. So we divided this guy. We had to find half of this guy because we are interested in reaching at point 3, whereby when this guy in white is expanded, it will be able to give us the guy in what? In white, the one which I have just circled. So that's one of the reasons we can give when we talk about finding the half. Is that okay, Chimoka?
Yes, sir, it's clear. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let's move on and finish up the question. So with this being said, when you work out that, you are simply going to have 2 outside there, then open bracket x plus 1 over 4, then you have cross bracket squared minus, when 1 over 16 minus 5 is being worked on, you are going to have 81 over 16, 81 over 16, like that. Then after you do that, you're going to multiply the negative 2, the 2 throughout. So you're going to multiply this 2 throughout everything there. So when you multiply, this will be 2 times that. Remember, there is a squared, meaning the squared is shielding what is inside. So it's just going to be open bracket x plus 1 over 4 squared, and then 2 times negative 81 over 16 is the same as 81 over 8. 81 over 8, because we know that 2 into 2 it's 1, 2 into 16 is simply 8. So from the question, we have completed the square method. So this is where your first task has ended, by simply completing the square method. So this is the part which has responded to the first question, which is complete the square method. So the first part, which is complete the square method, has been worked on by reaching this far. There is also another way this question is phrased. I think we are going to look at it when we do the second and third example. Okay, yes, Ruth, I can see your hand is up. Ruth, what's your question? Ruth, your question?
I'm lost. How did you find the 81 over 16?
By adding negative 1 over 6 minus 5. When you add negative 1 over 6 minus 5, it will give you negative 81 over 16. I think let me help you out on that. So you have 1 over 16, 1 over 16, you have 1 over 16, then you are saying minus 5. So when you find the common denominator, is simply negative 1 over 16 minus 5, and this will be 16 down there, and then you're going to have 16 into 16 is 1, so negative 1, and then this is over 1 into 16 is 16, 16 times 5 is simply 80, like that. So from here, this will give you negative 81 over 16. So that's where the guy has simply come from. So let's quickly look at the other parts of the question. So for this one, we have responded to complete the square. Now we need to look at the other part of the question, which is sketch the graph. Okay, sketch the graph indicating the turning point and the intercepts. So you can sketch the graph minus indicating the turning point and also the intercepts. So let's quickly look at the way the expression is. So I'll write the expression into three parts, sorry. So I'm going to write a 2 alone there. So I'll write a 2 alone in a different color, and then I'll get x plus 1 over 4. I'll also write squared in a different color, and I'll get another part which is negative 81 over 8 in also a different color. So what I'm just trying to help you understand is how to check out the turning point. So I'll start with the turning point, which I can put I2. So for the turning point, you are not interested in anything else apart from the yellow guy. Okay, so the x component of the turning point, you are going to get the yellow guy. So you say x plus c 1 over 4 is equal to 0. So you're going to say x is equal to negative 1 over 4. So this is the what? The x coordinate of the turning point. Then the y coordinate of the turning point, you are simply going to pick the other guy. So the y coordinate of the turning point is simply the one in blue. So it will be negative 81 over 8. So these two are now giving you the values of the turning point. So with that in mind, you can now simply write down the turning point by simply saying therefore the turning point, which is the TP, is simply equal to, open bracket, you get the x coordinate, which is 1 over 4, and then you say comma the y coordinate, which is negative 81 over 8. So this is how you can easily find the turning point after you do the complete the square method. Now we have responded to the question about the turning point, which is this particular point. The next thing that we need to look for is the intercepts. Okay, so the intercepts, we are just looking for where the curve is cutting the x-axis or where the curve is also cutting the y-axis. So let me quickly look at that and how easily you can work out. Okay, so please make sure that if you have a question, feel free to ask, and in case you are lost somewhere, you are also free to ask. So from here we can continue with our solution. So when you are looking for the intercepts, which is another important part, so when you are looking for the intercepts, This is what you need to understand. So the first point is to look for the what? For the x-intercepts. The x-intercepts. So for the x-intercepts, this is where now we are looking for a part where the curve is cutting the what? The x-axis. So let me quickly work it out. So how can you find the x-intercept? You're just going to get what you completed, which was x plus c 1 over 4, and then squared, and then you have negative 81 over what? Over 8, and then you are going to equate that expression to what? To 0. So after you do that, your next part will be as follows. So negative 81 over 8 will go to the other side. So you're going to have 2 open brackets x plus c 1 over 4 squared d. Then this one will be 81 over 8 like that. Then upon doing that, your next step is simply dividing throughout by a 2. So you divide throughout by a 2, and then there you have also divided throughout by a 2. So when you divide throughout by 2, remember this expression can be worked on, and this one will be 1 over 2. So your next expression will simply be 2 open bracket x plus 1 over 4, okay, squared is equal to 81 over 8 times 1 over 2. Remember this side we have also divided by what? By 2. So after doing that, your task is just to cancel that one and that one, and then 8 times 2, it will be 16. So with that, we are going to have x plus c 1 over 4 squared, and then e is simply equal to 81 over 16. 81 over 16. After working out that, you can now simply move on to the next step, which is introducing a square root. So you're going to introduce a square root. Again, there you introduce a what? A square root. Immediately you introduce a square root, this will be positive or what? Negative. Positive or negative. So that square root and that squared will go. So your next part will be x plus c 1 over 4, and then is equal to positive or negative. You know square root 81 is simply 9, and square root 16 is simply what? 4. After you work out that, you can now separate these two guys. So you can say x plus c 1 over 4 is simply equal to 9 over 4, or you can say x plus 1 over 4 is simply equal to negative 9 over 4. Negative 9 over 4. So once you do that, you can take this to the other side. So it's going to be x is equal to 9 over 4 minus c 1 over 4, or this will be also x is equal to negative 9 over 4 minus c 1 over what? 4. So when you work out these two guys, you can easily find the solution. So x is equal to, common denominator is a 4. 4 into 4 is 1. 1 times 9, it's simply 9. 4 into 4, it's 1. 1 times 1, it's negative 1. So there it will just be x is equal to what? 2. This side, you move on the right hand side, you can also work out. So x is equal to, common denominator is simply 4. 4 into 4, it's 1. 1 times negative 9, it's negative 9. And then that one will be like that. So After you work out, this will be x is equal to negative 10 over 4. If you find the common denominator, you're going to understand that x is equal to negative 5 over 2. So that's the final part. So this is the x-intercept. This is how easily you can find the x-intercept. So basically, when you look at the complete the square method, the only intercept which gives you a lot of task is the x-intercept. The only guy which gives you a lot of tasks is the x-intercept. But for the y-intercept, you can easily work it out. So I'm going to put my y-intercept in that particular box. So the y-intercept will just be gotten from the equation. So you're going to get this negative 10 there. Okay, the y-intercept, you're just going to get the what? The negative 10 there. So y is simply negative what? 10. So this now has responded to the question where we have been asked to find the intercept, which is this guy there and also that guy there. So we now have everything. We have the x-intercept, and we also have the y-intercept, and we also have the turning point. So once you have everything at hand, your next step is to now sketch the graph. After you have everything, your next step is now to sketch the what? The graph. So how can you easily sketch the graph? So remember, you have the y-intercept, you have the x-intercept, and you also have the what? The turning points. Okay, so after you do that, what you just have to do is to just simply now work on the graph. So here's how your graph will be. So your graph, remember that it has the y axis and also the x axis. Okay, now after that, one thing you need to understand is what was your turning point. So your turning point was negative 1 over 4, the TP. Okay, the TP was the negative 1 over 4, comma, negative 81 over what? Over 8. This was your TP. Then the other part was negative 10 as your, was it negative 10 or 10? Your y axis, or your y axis was negative 10. I hope that's according to the equation. Yeah, it was negative 10. So the other guy which you need to take note of was your coordinates. So let's quickly look at the x-intercept and then also the y-intercept. So your x-intercept, the first one is the negative 5 over 2. So you can pick it up, negative 5 over 2 to be there. The other one was a 2, which was somewhere there. So a 2, which was there. These were your x-intercepts. Then you had the y-intercept, which is negative 10. You had a y-intercept, which is negative 10.
It was negative 10.
All right, thank you. So looking at how you can now sketch your graph will come out like that. It will start from that particular point. It passes through the x-intercept, the first x-intercept. It goes and cuts the y-intercept. Then it goes down, make a curve, which we are calling the turning point, and then it goes all the way up like that. So this is how your curve is. So your TP here will be negative, your TP will be negative 1 over 4. Your TP will be negative 1 over 4. Actually, this is somehow wrong because our TP is a negative. So it being a negative, then the turning point is not on the positive side. So let me just quickly work it out once again. Okay, so you need to be a little bit careful. Like you have seen in my case, I have made a mistake whereby I have put my turning point to be this side instead of that side because x is negative here. So you need to be a little bit careful. So where I had to put there, it was a positive. So this side is positive, the other side is negative. So I need to be a little bit careful. So what I'll do is I'll start from here, my sketching. It will go like that. Then it cuts through the 10 there. Then it goes, makes a curve, though it's not that perfect, and then it will go like that. So don't mind how my graph look like. Yeah, so there, this one will be negative 81 over 8, and then the other one will simply be negative 1 over 8 comma negative 81 over 8. So this is the final answer for this question. So I don't know if you guys have any questions so far. If there is a question, feel free to ask so that we can move on and look at the next part. Any question? Okay, since we don't have a question, I'll move on to my next part. So the next part is this. So this question is from Math 1120. This question is from Math 1120, specifically 2023. This question is from Math 1120, and then this was 2023 exam for UNZA. So if you check out, and it's on number 2, the way it is, it's on number 2, and the marks are just like that. So I won't solve this question, but check my solutions on YouTube. Check Math 1120 revision solution, solution, and then part 2. Yeah, check out on my YouTube channel. You are going to find the solution for this question. The solutions are there, so go and check it out. Okay, so I'll move on and look at Math 1100. Yes, Mary, your hand is up. Okay, please, if you have a question, you just unmute yourself and ask a question. Okay, so this one, it is now Math 1100 2023, and it was question 3, the way it is. So let me quickly look at it and explain. Remember, this is Math 1100. So if you look at Math 1120, this is Math 1120. This is math 1100. Both of them are just the same, just that for math 1120 they brought an application, and then for math 1100 they brought what? The basic, which I've already explained. So let me quickly work on it and see how best we can move. So you have f of x is equal to x squared minus x minus 6. So don't get confused, or don't mislead yourself. So what you need to do here now is just to say you factorize a1. Remember to factorize a1, then inside it will be maintained like that, inside it will be maintained like that. Your next step after you do that is to find half of -1, half of -1. So half of -1, it will be x squared minus x, then half of -1, it will be -half. So you're going to have -half squared, and then you also subtract -half squared. Okay, then you say minus 6, and then you work it out like that. So from here you're going to say 1, and then you do what we did, you correct that one and that one. So this will be x minus half, and then you're going to have squared, then there it will be minus 1/4 minus 6, and then you have that. After you work out that, your next step is now to add those guys there. So this will be 1, and then you have x minus half squared, and then your next thing is to work out those guys, which will be -1 minus 4 times 6, which is 24/4. Okay, then there, when you work out that, this will simply be 1 outside there. So this will be x minus half, x minus half, close bracket, squared, minus 25/4, like that. So from here you can work it out, you can pick it up. So 1 times everything, it will be x minus 1/2, and then squared minus 25/4. So this was the complete the square method. So if you look at how the question was, it was complete the square, express f of x in the form. So I have expressed f of x in that particular form. I have expressed f of x in that particular form. Just that the one here is invisible, because I know 1 times everything, it's just whatever I'm multiplying it with. Now the question is saying sketch the graph of what, indicating the turning point and other stuffs. So I have written f of x to be equal to, open bracket, x minus 1/2 squared minus 25/4. Okay, so for me to look for the turning point, which should be my first task. So for me to find the turning point, I'll write the TP. Okay, so the TP for the x coordinate, I'll say x minus 1/2 is equal to 0. So x is equal to half. And then for the y, I'll just pick that guy, which is -25/4. Therefore, the TP is simply equal to 1/2, -25/4. So that's my turning point. Then my next task is to look for the x and y intercept. So y intercept is easy, but I'll look for first for the x intercept. I'll look for the x-intercept. So I'll just get that, which is x minus 1 over 2 squared minus 25 over 4. I'll equate it.
The audio is behind.
All right, it will be worked on. Let me just finish up the question and then I'll upload the class on our channel. So this guy will go to the other side. So this will be x minus 1 over 2, then squared. This will be 25 over 4. So once I reach there, I can introduce the square root on both sides. So this will be positive or negative. That one and that one will cancel. So I now have x minus 1 over 2 is equal to positive or negative 5 over 2. So if I have these two guys, I can move further and make them independent. So this will be x minus 1 over 2 is equal to 5 over 2, or this can also be x minus 1 over 2 is equal to negative 5 over 2. When this goes to the other side, it will be x is equal to 5 over 2 plus 1 over 2. On the other side, it will be x is equal to negative 5 over 2 plus 1 over 2. So this is my working from one side and also from the other side. So with that, you can add these two guys. So if you add this, 6 over 2 is the same as 3. So this will be 3. Then the other one, which is this one, this will be x is equal to negative 5 plus 1. It will be negative 4. So this will be negative 2. So that's the x-intercepts. Then for the y-intercept, you're just going to pick from the equation, which is y-intercept. It will just be what? Y is equal to negative 6. So this is how easily you can find and complete the square method without having any challenges. And this was an easy question that came last year in 2023. So guys, make sure that you go through this question and make sure that you also ask questions during the class or after this class. Okay, so we have everything needed. The x-intercept, the turning point, and also the y-intercept. The only thing remaining is for us to sketch the graph. So let's quickly sketch the graph, and then I'll allow you guys to ask questions. So for now, let me just quickly sketch the graph. So we have the x-axis, we have the y-axis, and then like I did, I'll make sure that I'm a bit careful with the turning point. Remember, the TP is half over negative 25 over 4. That's the TP, the turning point. So this time around it's this side. So yeah, that's a very good position. And then the y-intercept is on the y-intercept is on -6, and we have the y-intercept is on -6, and then we have -25 over 4, and we know 4 into 25 is somewhere 6 point something, so at least it's a little bit low. So I can easily work out the graph by simply showing it in that particular way. I think this time around I'm a little bit clean and smart in terms of my graph. So there I'll indicate my first x-intercept, which was a 3, and then a -2 there, and then the y-intercept was -6 there, and then the turning point was -25 over 4 and also half there. So this is simply 1 over 2 comma -25 over 6. So lastly, the other thing which your lecturer or the marker will be interested in is for you to name this graph, which is f of x is equal to x squared minus x minus 6. So this is the whole solution for the exam question, which was in math 1100. So my advice is, as you try to solve these past papers, make sure that you solve both math 1100 and math 1120, because there is no difference. Okay, I think that marks the end of our class, but if you have a question, you can ask me by WhatsApping me the lines which are appearing on the screen, or you can ask me now. For those who have questions right now, you are free to ask.